I am Sandalphon, your galactical guide. Today I will talk to you about Ashtar Command. Ashtar Command, also known as the Great White Brotherhood and the Pleiadians. They are also called Nordic, Pleiadians, Pleiadians, Scandinavians and Rhomphizenners. They are a race of beings from the star system called Pleiades, which is 444 light-years away from Earth. They refer to Earth as Gaia. These beings didn't originate from this system, we will get into that later. In astronomy, the Pleiades, or Seven Sisters, MESI 45 or M45, is an open star cluster containing middle-aged hot B-type stars located in the constellation of Taurus. The designation comes from the work of 18th-century French astronomer Charles Messier, who identified and catalogued astronomical objects. The B-type stars, such as Sirius A and the ones in Orion, are characterized by lines of helium and of singly ionized oxygen, nitrogen, and neon. B stars are frequently found near, and may even be gravitationally bound, to even higher mass, spectral type O stars in or near stellar nurseries as OB associations. Usually found in the galactic plane where there are dusty clouds of gas, B stars are very rare, comprising around only 0.1% of dwarf stars. A typical Class B star has a mass of 9, 2 to 16, solar masses, a radius of 4, 2 to 7, solar radii, a luminosity of 1000, 25 to 30,000, solar luminosities, a surface temperature of 44,310 F or 24,599 C, 17,540 F to 53,540 F, and a lifespan of 50 billion to 100 billion years. Keep in mind we told you that blue stars are baby stars, most just being born. The hottest part of the flame is the base, so this typically burns with a different color to the outer edges from the rest of the flame's body. Blue flames are the hottest, followed by yellow, orange and red, which are the common colors you'll see in most fires. The three primary colors are blue, yellow and red. These are the three basic phases of stars, also called suns. So the stars in the Pleiades are new stars being less than 10 billion years old. If a star is red, it is in its last phase before it burns out. The Pleiades star system is among the nearest star clusters to Earth and is the cluster most obvious to the naked eye in the night sky. The celestial entity has several meanings in different cultures and traditions. The name of the Pleiades comes from ancient Greek. The name was the name of the seven divine sisters, whose name was imagined to derive from that of their mother Pleione, effectively meaning daughters of Pleione. The 9 brightest stars of the Pleiades are Sterope, Merope, Electra, Maia, Teegida, Seleno, and Alcyone, along with their parents Atlas and Pleione. As daughters of Atlas, the Hyades were sisters of the Pleiades. Keep in mind this is not the names we called these stars. These stars were the 7 daughters and granddaughters of the ancient Egyptian goddess Neith, also called Net, Nit and Need. Her name means the Divine Mother. Pleione is the equivalent to Neith. The 7 stars are Mot, Mut, Hathor, Nephthys, Isis, Nut, and Nekhbet. Neith has elements of a war goddess, and was regarded as a great creator goddess. Keep in mind the Greeks came into our land to get a culture. They took our story and made it theirs. The star system Pleiades also had other names depending on what star system you came from. The Pleiades star cluster contains over 14 stars you can see, and X spans 8 light-years across the cluster's brightest star, which is Alcyone, judged to be 7 times brighter than your Sun. There are actually more than 1,000 stars within the cluster, and under optimal conditions, 14 stars may be seen with the naked eye. Several of the Pleiadian star systems have human life as we know it. For the most part the system is populated with humanoid types, mostly ranging in different skin colors, from dark, or Nubian, green, gray and blue skin. The pale skin, also called Nordics, are few in number and only populated 3 to 7 planets in the star system under the stars Teegida and Alcyone. We Riskians, after our star system was attacked, were forced to leave our planets to find new homes. One of the systems we fled to was the Pleiadian star system. The Nordics are really not Pleiadians, and they are not the original Ashtar Command, which are the Nomo reptilians. They originally came from the Procone star system. They are refugees. Some of the refugees went to Venus to live. Ashtar Command, the airborne regiment, is really the same people as the Alderbarian almost. The Alderbarians are drafted out of the albino Proconians. They created albinos due to mixing their seed with the Hindus and the type of star they lived under. They are really a clone race off of the Alderbarians. They are avatars for a race of Nomo who lived on Neptune. They were the follower of Elelu, Anu's brother, who sliced his DNA with the Nomo people to try and rule them. He became half human or Anunnaki and half fish Nomo. He wanted to marry the queen of the Nomo named Mir. The Nomo are reptilians from Sirius B. Some of them, being called mermaids, later moved to Neptune with all their family. They lived on Neptune until Nibiru almost crashed into it, causing a magnetic storm, killing 2/3 of the planet's people. Elelu and his children and guards were using avatar clones, which they made from Alderbarian hybrids. They got these Alderbarian slaves through the galactic slave trade. The equipment they were using to transfer their essence to the Ashtar Command shell was on the planet Neptune. The electric storm caused the equipment to shut down, trapping Elelu and his people in Ashtar Command shells. Many stories about these beings, being good beings, has been spread over the internet by their human hybrid children. These beings are neutral beings. This means they have a good side and a bad side. Sharon also called Ashtar the leader of Ashtar Command. The airborne regiment is really Elelu from Neptune. They became known as Ashtar Command when they went back to their old home Sirius B. Before this they were called the Nobody people. At the time Sirius B was burning out due to Nibiru passing by and draining its solar power. The real leaders of Ashtar Command are the Nomo reptilians. Their leader name is Hatan, the real leader of Ashtar Command. Elelu and his people were called the Nobody people. Once they hooked up with the Nomo whose star was burning out, they took on the name Ashtar Command. As in Ashtar, meaning a star that burned out. Ashes is what's left after a fire burns out. The terms commander and command refer to tasks self-elected by them, to be in charge of themselves and be responsible of their position of confidence and observance of the orders of their commander-in-chief, the Prince Ananda, Jesus, Ashtar and the Christ. Coman really mean two man. The commander Ashta Sharon, which they say in their language called Irdim, means holy chief. The Pleiadians and the Greek alphabets of Earth are both very similar. Their language sounds like Greek mixed with German. Keep in mind not all Pleiadians speak this language. Most Pleiadians speak the Rizkins language known as Nuwapua. We Rizkins know the language of Ashtar Command as well. Ashtar Command are very affluent and articulate when speaking any of your languages on your planet, or discussing your sciences, history, etc. They sound like Hindus when they speak the English language. This dude Sharon tried to steal my name. Keep in mind they named their people the same as ours. He is connected with Enlil. Enlil, Elelu, Tarnush, Halal, and Mother Huber, who want to overthrow us. They are all in bed together. They have their own 24 elders. Sharon, like we said, is really Elelu, which called himself the substitute for Sandalphon or Christ. He called himself the Pope. This is why the Pope wears Elelu's gear and calls himself the substitute for Christ. He used the title vicar. The original notion of a vicar is as an earthly representative of Christ, but it's also used in the sense of person acting as parish priest in place of a real person. The title is now used in Catholicism to refer to the bishops, and more specifically was historically used to the Bishop of Rome, the Pope. Overstand the game is chess. In the game, each side has two bishops. One being the regular Pope, which is Pope Francis, the 266th Bishop of Rome, and the Black Pope. The Superior General of the Society of Jesus is the official title of the leader of the Society of Jesus, the Roman Catholic religious order, which is also known as the Jesuits. He is generally addressed as Father General. The position sometimes carries the nickname, the Black Pope, because of his responsibility for the largest Catholic, male religious order and is contrasted to the white garb of the Pope. The 31st and current Superior General is the Reverend Father Arturo Sosa, elected by the 36th General Congregation on October 14, 2016. Sharon was not originally known as Ashtar but in the frequency resonance of Illustranantararian, and also as Gabrian, Shirna, Sharon, and finally as Ashtar when he and his team went back to Sirius B. He was considered as a ascended master. His followers called him the Son of God. He and his Council of the Solar Cross serves in coordinated union with the councils of the Galactic Federation of Light. Keep in mind light only makes up 1% of the universe. So they are the 1%, think over that. He is known as a fallen son of Anu. He comes originally from what could be called the Seven Kingdoms, seventh dimension, or the celestial throne worlds of the supreme beings, of the neutral divine realms. He is not originally from this dimensional universe at all, he came here with his own agenda for his people. He is a member of the High Council of Melchizedek started by Enlil's son who is also called Murdoch. Keep in mind this is not the Murdoch, Yanan, which is Enki's son. They are both grandsons of Anu. Lord Ashtar is now as an immortalized soul of Elelu trapped in the avatar of Sharon. I know this is a lot to take in for you right now. Commander Ashtar, himself, is considered a great and noble being to his people. He is 7 feet in height with blue eyes and blonde hair. His army of workers, and fleet of extraterrestrial aircraft, is that they are etheric in nature. They do not have physical bodies like you do, however they are able to manifest physical bodies, and manifest their aircraft onto the physical plane, the third dimension, anytime they want. This is the process of speeding up your vibration and slowing it down. They are fifth dimensional beings. The light bodies come from the sixth dimension, and the thought bodies come from the seventh dimension. The first, second, and third dimensions make up the fourth dimension and those dimensions make up the fifth and so on. So the fifth dimension is 1, 2, 3, and 4 added together. So when you speed your vibration up to the fifth dimension, it is just as physical as this dimension. Refer to the Ascension Manual by the Young Elder, which is one of my names. Most of the life on the other planets in your solar system outside of Mars, is etheric in nature. Even you are in a way, you are just trapped in a third-dimensional shell for now. You can leave if you know how but, you have to come back. You don't really have to come back, but it's your fear and desire, which trap you in this prison called the body. Keep in mind a light body is still a body, we are pure consciousness. In our light form we are called Etherians. So Elelu was trapped in the light body on the fifth dimension. Keep in mind light is still physical. Ashtar Command are in a state of evolution just as you are, and their life on their plane is not that much different than yours, except that they have transcended much of the lower self and their fleet of extraterrestrial aircrafts, which are etheric in nature. They lie and say they originated from the Lyra constellation which we called Ilion, which were invaded by the reptilians entities from Alpha Draconis. The Pleiadians are highly evolved, spiritual beings. They lean mostly to their benevolent side but they are neutraloids. They have a kinship toward humans. Keep in mind more than our planet Rizq was attacked. Many planets were attacked during the war. We Lyran refugees, now known as Pleiadians, found our new home in the Pleiades. Some of us went to different star systems such as Orion and Arcturus. Those who went to Arcturus, some of them became known as the Arcturians. These were humanoids, plantoids, felines, and gray-type beings. Those who went to Pleiades became known as the Pleiadians. In Pleiades the brightest star is Alcyon, which is about 7 times brighter than your sun. Each of the Pleiadian star systems have its own specialties. The two most advanced and developed stars are the system of Tayagita and Alcyon. Under the star Tayagita, this is where the main Nordic Fleet Command live. They have advanced technology and they have star exploration technology. In Alcyon, This is where the main Pleiadian civilization and government is, which is mostly ran by green skin and dark Riskians. This is the creativity center for music, administration, generally the interests of the Pleiadians culture. The Merope star is the home of Pleiadian psycho-spiritual healing, divine feminine mysteries. The Maya star is where the Pleiadian pursued spiritual knowledge, universal law, go to schools, build ships and set up the archaeological projects. The new Risk tech was relocated to this star after we left Risk. The star Electra is where they develop and invent advanced technology, star codes, home of template builders and implementers. The star Atlas is where they work on navigation and travel, star mapping, astronomy and science. The Pleiadian star is where they have sanctuary and temples, rest areas and resort for Pleiadians, deep spirituality and contemplation. The other stars such as Seleno and Sterapir are still in the development phase. Some of the planets in the Sterapir and Seleno system was destroyed by Orion-based reptilians during the Orion Wars. In these other star systems the planets are being redesigned due to wars that took place on them. The planet Era orbits star Teagita. It is extremely remote and has a very small and slightly population. There are many other planets in the Pleiades star cluster, however most are habitable by green skin and dark skin Riskians. Teagita has 10 planets orbiting the star. Most of the Nordic Pleiadians stay on Era and Semjace, some work on Ta and Quetzal, which are controlled by Riskians. On Era, they have pets, which is a reptilian dog-like mermaid race that swim in the water. They call them mere puppies. As in puppy. 26,000 Earth years is 1 year on their planet. 71 years and 23 days is 1 day on their planet. They can live for about 1,200 years in their time. Which is 1,200 times 26,000. When in the third dimension, if they were to keep their vibration on the third, they would live close to 700 to 1,000 Earth years. A Pleiadian can be over 1,000 years old, but still look 26 years old. Once they make it to 26 years old they stop aging. On their planet they live in square advance homes, work 2 hours a day and get paid on a credit card like you do here on Earth. On their planet they go to school for 150 years. They study every art, math, and science subject. They have to learn about most of the universe and how it works. Keep in mind Ashtar Command are neutral beings, meaning they can be down with you today and then turn against you tomorrow. They are tricky and hard to trust. The Ashtar Command Pleiadians look like humans, but the physiology in general is not the same. Due to the gravity of Era, also called Nordlands, being slightly stronger than that of Earth. The planet Era is similar to Earth but more advanced because it is in the 5th dimension. It is 6 times bigger than Earth and has 4 huge continents. The first continent is for the higher elite rich. The second is for other people and 2 is for visitors. 68% of their planet is water, but it is salt water. The planet looks like the Earth. It has a force field around it to protect them from their sun. Pleiadian ancestors initially had a strength and durability slightly superior to that of humans. But, over the years, perfecting technology, and also due to evolution, the Pleiadian people began to generate abilities at superhuman levels, such as regeneration and even flight and psychic powers. They also have an average height slightly higher than that of humans, with an average height between 6 to 8 feet tall. Most of the males are around 7 feet tall. The women are 6 feet tall. They look like Earth supermodels. In fact, some of their hybrid children are Earth supermodels today. We will name a few later. Humans share common physical traits with Pleiadians which can be traced back to both the Pleiadian and human ancestors from Lyra. The Ashtar Command Pleiadians have white to straight blonde hair, some of them brunette hair. They have blue, gray, and some have green eyes. They can choose their eye color in the cloning process. Most of them go with blue. They look like Barbie dolls with smooth pale baby skin like paste. They are into altering their breast, face, and butt in the birth process. Their body only has 25% water versus Earth humans having 78% water in their body. They are born in test tubes, they are grown. The Pleiadians Ashtar Command don't have children like humans on Earth. The women don't carry their child in the belly for 9 months. Instead they are grown in a tube for 6 weeks. This is really the process of cloning. They take DNA from the mother and father, then they put it into a computer and grow the baby in a tube. Due to the advancement of technology in general, including genetic engineering, and also evolution, the species as a whole began to show supernatural abilities. In the beginning, it was only a few individuals that possessed these powers, but recently, these abilities are now in everyone's genetics, so the entire species has the following abilities. All Pleiadians are extremely strong compared to humans, being able to lift up to 50,000 tons with one hand. Able to run at a very high speed, being able to be faster than airplanes on Earth. Generally, Pleiadians can far exceed the speed of sound, 761 miles per hour. Pleiadians have the ability to endure some struggle or anything else for much longer without getting tired. With the evolution, the skin of the Pleiadians has been strengthened, making them invulnerable to almost anything and withstanding low temperature. The only way to hurt them is to have the same or superior strength as them. When they go to other planets, the Pleiadians are able to adapt to the planet's gravity, leaving them at the ideal weight for the body to withstand gravity. When they are in space, Pleiadians automatically adapt to be able to survive without worry. Although they are highly resistant to various types of physical damage, it is still possible to hurt them, but when they are damaged, they can heal very quickly. They are able to telekinetically manipulate the movement of their own bodies, thus being able to fly, surpassing gravity. The story of Superman is connected with Ashtar Command. After a great mental development of the species, they were able to access the power of the brain and are able to manifest psychic powers, such as telekinesis, telepathy, etc. All Pleiadians are able, with a mental focus, to lift and manipulate matter. The level of the telekinesis depend on the individual, but generally, all of them are initially at an advanced level. They can emit blasts of concussive telekinetic force, and as well generate telekinetic energy. They are able to telekinetically manipulate matter and energy around them. But, in general, the molecular powers are limited, because initially they can only manipulate little inorganic objects and only electric energy, but can be enhanced by experience, achieving other types of matter and energy and even manipulate them into an even more lower level, such as subatomic manipulation. Pleiadians also have telepathic abilities, being able to communicate with other individuals through the mind, not only communicating, but also being able to affect the minds/thoughts of others, thus being able to manipulate the emotions and the minds of other individuals. They can overwhelm others' minds and be able to control them. They can acquire information through means independent of any of their known senses or previous experience. This applies to any and all types of information, knowledge, wisdom, experience, etc. Information can be personal, memories, thoughts, etc., or impersonal, academic knowledge, data, etc. This ability can be used passively, as an instinctive reaction, or actively, wanting to know specific information. They are highly resistant to others' psychic powers, so it's very hard to control their minds. The evolved Pleiadians are a group of individuals whose psychic and physical powers are far superior to those of a normal individual species. They are essentially just like the superhumans on Earth. The evolved ones may even have powers other than those already natural, and also train them to an even higher level. They can be overwhelmed by hierarchic forces, such as espers/psychic humans, due to humans having the potential to be extremely powerful in psychic powers. Although they can withstand low temperatures, gravity, and spatial environment, depending on the location, they are not able to withstand things like atmospheric compositions.